So good morning, our Providence Homestead family. So it's bright and early this morning, and we have workers coming on the property to take down a couple pine trees. You know, when it comes to trimming trees, we have no problem doing that. But just behind me over this way over here, and I'll show you in just a minute, there is a 65 to 70 foot pine tree, a black pine tree, that needs to come down because I'm concerned that it may at some point fall and hit the house. We've had 2 hurricanes come through last year, and they broke branches in the tree, but they are stuck in the tree. So that's just an accident and catastrophe waiting to happen. There's dead limbs up higher that we can't get to, so that would require a bucket truck anyway. And the tree is just not a healthy pine tree. It came up, I'm sure it was one of the originals when they built the house. It came up out of the ground as 4 trees that joined together, but each grew separately. So it's 4 trees in one large trunk area. Really an impossible task for someone who doesn't know what they're doing. So we've hired some professionals to come out, take down the pine tree, and while they're here, there's 2 pines in the pasture that we're going to go ahead and let them just drop and let them lay, and we'll cut them up and get them hauled away ourselves. But again, they're 65, 70 foot trees. The 2 that are in the pasture are not as dangerous to take down, because no matter which way they fall, they wouldn't hit a fence, they wouldn't hit a home or anything. But again, for just a couple $100, hiring a professional who's already on the property to just drop them for us is a huge cost savings for us, because should something go wrong, a hospital bill would be much more than what we're paying him to just drop them for us. So that being said, I'll be taking some pictures throughout the day as they take down this pine tree and the big pine, and so you can see, you know, how they work. Again, it's important to know when you're on a homestead what you are capable of doing and what you're not capable of doing. Like I mentioned in an earlier video, there's some fans in the bathrooms I like to replace. I nor my husband are experienced in electrical matters, so again, I'm hiring a professional to do that, because risking a fire in the home is just too high a cost for us. Okay, so again, if you are able to do those kind of things, then by all means I encourage you to do them. But like, if you're like us and don't have that experience to take down a tree, to change out electrical things in your home, then by all means I encourage you to hire a professional to do that. In the end, it will cost as less than if something was to go wrong, or let's say you're changing out something, some kind of electrical thing, and you end up getting shocked, sent to the ground. Now you've got a fall injury plus whatever the electrical shock did to your system. So again, just always be safe on your homestead. And so here we go. We're going to go ahead and just on this video just take pictures periodically through the day, because I don't want to get in the way of these guys doing their work. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so this is the base of the tree, and as you can see, it's a solid tree, but if I glance up, you see there are multiple trees coming out of this one base, and we have counted 4 that are in this tree. And so again, we're leaving it to the professionals to go ahead and get this done. And as you can see, it's just a windy mess. And when you know it, it's wanting to sprinkle and rain today. So, okay, again, another reason it's going to be wet, it's going to be slippery. We're leaving it to the professionals. So hello, welcome to our Providence homestead. My name's Julie and we're outside today. The company that was taking down the big black pine finally got completed and then came back and ground down the stump for the big black pine that was in the front yard. The other two that are in the pasture, we decided not to have him grind those down at this time. We can always get somebody back to grind those down, but we just wanted them down just because we didn't want them at the location that they are. We still have a couple pine trees out in the pasture, and we have several oak trees out in the pasture. So my husband and a friend who lives on the property with us is going to end up trimming out the oak trees. There's enough limbs, safe limbs, for them to get up in the tree a little bit and kind of take down some of the branches to help it air out a little bit. So when we get the storms that come through here in the summer and the fall, that it will allow the air to blow through there easily, and hopefully we won't lose any limbs or anything like that, or potentially lose the tree. And that's what happens a lot here in Florida when we get the hurricanes or the big thunderstorms, is the canopy of the tree is so thick that the wind can't blow through it. And when the wind can't blow through it, that's when the trees are uprooted and limbs are broken, that kind of thing. So we're trying to do this as a preventative type measure to prepare for what's to come this summer and this fall with hurricane season. It's February. It's not having those kind of storms right now in Florida. In the spring, we do get some severe thunderstorms. So again, it's just all in preparation. And since we wanted to get the big pine tree down in the front yard because we felt like it was threatening the house, we went ahead and had the two pines out in the pasture that we felt was the best to remove. So after this video, I'm going to show you quite a few pictures of the company as they were taking down the pine. Like I mentioned on the video at the start of this video that you're watching, certain things on the homestead, you need to make a decision of whether it feels safe for you to do. Taking down the big pine trees, we did not feel like we had the equipment or the training to take down a 65, 70-foot tree safely. And what we paid to have this gentleman take it down was much less than if someone was to get hurt, or if it would have fell on the house or the fence, or anything like that. Same thing with the two pines that were out in the pasture. Now, when it comes to trimming the oaks, we do feel comfortable with that. So you have to make the decision for yourself when you own a homestead. What things are you capable and willing to do yourself, and what is safer to hire a professional? And we made that decision, again, with hiring this company to do the work for us. So that being said, the big black pine tree in the front yard is down. It has totally changed the look of the front of the house, which, in a way, that's a great thing. We also noticed with it gone that it was actually crowding the oak tree that was in the front yard. So it looks kind of lopsided because the pine tree was taking up space on its north side. So now that that pine tree is down and removed, we're going to go in and trim it out a little bit. So come the spring, come when it's going to be growing and producing new limbs, that kind of thing, it will have more room to spread out and not be off balance. And that's a big thing when you have oak trees. Anywhere where you receive severe thunderstorms, high winds, is for it to be balanced. If there's too much wood, too many limbs on one side, and the wind hits across from that side, that also can lead to your oaks or your other trees to get uprooted. So just a few little hints there when you're in an area that receives storms, is to get out ahead of it, For us to wait till, let's say, August, September, when majority of the storms do come through here, then that's really too late, because people are also trying to do that. So hiring someone to cut down those trees or thin a tree, the prices go up because there's such a high demand. And should it be a storm has just gone through, well, those companies are also busy doing cleanup. So it's always important to kind of plan ahead, just like we plan ahead for a garden or we plan ahead to get animals. You know, it always is a step process. So I'm going to turn you around. There is pictures that I'll have up on this video that you can see, but you can also see the pasture, and it really opened. It's just having those two pine trees down really opened it up. We left some that were closer to the back of the property that was near the neighbors, because I'm sure it blocks a lot of their sun, so they get more shade on their property, but it's not anywhere close to the fence line. But we're okay with them staying there for now. They look healthy. The two that came down did not look healthy, nor was it growing straight. So I mean, again, we made those decisions. So let me spin you around and we'll go from there. Okay, so that's our neighbor's house. That's not our house. And then there's one of the pine trees down. And the guy did a really great job of breaking it up into smaller pieces for easy cleanup. We'll do that later. And then off in the distance, you can see there's the other one. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clean out the oaks, pile everything together, and then we'll hire a company to come and clean up the property. Now here is where that big black pine tree was, and they did grind down this stump, and that's in the pictures as well. Okay, and this is, I'm trying not to show my car, but right there you can see this is the oak tree, and it's all the leaves and stuff are on the south side. So it really is going to give it an opportunity to grow more and stronger to the north side to make it a stronger tree. But otherwise it's healthy. This is a different angle. So there is the base of the tree, and you can see off to your right. I mean, it's still healthy looking, but how thin, short the limbs are. And then you come over here and it's spread out really a lot that way. So we'll trim off a lot of the south side and make it more even. So that's it. So I'm really great. You can see behind me how it just really opens up the front of the property. So I'm really happy with what he did and his workmanship and his professionalism. And I'm not sure if you're in the North Florida area, but he was a great asset to be with. And in fact, he did such an excellent job, and he was way under the prices of other tree companies. So I think we got like 20 estimates, and that might seem like an overkill, but he was actually the last one that came to the property and gave us an estimate. So if you're ever planning to do work around your house, I suggest you go on the sites, the group sites on Facebook in your area. If you have like a work area, group, and ask, has anybody had any tree work done in this case, or has anybody had any electrical work or plumbing work, whatever you need that you're not feeling comfortable in doing and you need a professional or someone else to do the work for you, then you can go on there and get those recommendations. You can go to of course, the Better Business Bureau. This gentleman's phone number I found on a local, I don't know what you want to call it. It's a local paper that comes out every week. There's local ads, there's things for sale. It's like a swap meet kind of magazine. And I found his name in there. And come to find out, the number that was in there is his home business number. And that's why it was so difficult to get hold of him at first. But once he gave me his cell phone number, then he was very accessible. So, but I can understand why he wouldn't put his cell phone number out on a paper like that. So, like I said, check around, check other people, get lots of estimates. And then even when you have your estimates, look to see who you feel comfortable with. Getting the cheapest isn't always the best. Getting the most expensive isn't always the best. Um, but you need to feel comfortable with whoever is doing work on your property, in your home, um, allowing access for someone to come into your home to do work. You need to feel comfortable and you need to feel safe. So, like I said, this gentleman was the last one, and he did a great job. I'm very pleased with his work. So that's it for this installment of Big Black Pine Tree Comes Down, and we're happy with the results. So until the next video, uh, give a hug to your loved ones, tell them you love them, take care and God bless, and we'll see you next time from our Providence Homestead.